To say that growing up blind has not kept you from doing extraordinary things would be an epic understatement. From building a career as a blind soccer player to downhill skiing, you've created a life dedicated to knowing what you wanted and going for it. And now what you want is to help others understand that limits can be pushed, and being told you can't do something is not for someone else to decide. You're listening to 2233, a podcast of exchange stories.
When you are Brazilian, we are born playing football. Even when you are inside of the moms, you are just kicking.
This week, a soccer ball in a plastic bag, the advantage of skiing blind, and using personal stories to give others hope. Join us on a journey from Brazil to the United States, breaking barriers all along the way. It's 2233.
We report what happens in the United States, warts and all.
These exchanges shaped who I am.
When you get to know these people, they're not quite like you. You read about them. They are people very much like ourselves.
Oh, that's what we call cultural exchange. Ooh, yes.
My name is Marcos Lima. I'm from Brazil, and I take part in GSMP program, Global Sports Mentoring Program. I am journalist. I work on a communications project for breaking barriers about people with disability. I'm blind since I was a kid, and I played blind football for many years. I was the first blind Brazilian to ski on the snow, and I use communications, I use my life and my experience to tell about people with disability. I have a YouTube channel with over more than 4.1 million of views. My project is named Blind Stories. That in Portuguese is Histórias de Cego. It's a way that I find to communicate to people who doesn't know about people with disability, because I strongly believe that communication can break barriers about disability. Everyone has prejudice against people we don't know. If you know things, you don't have prejudice anymore. To be in the United States is a different thing for me. I never thought I would travel to the United States and that I would be invited for the United States to talk about my job, to talk about things I strongly believe. When you are here, you realize that everyone is a person and we are more equals than difference. I didn't expect, or I didn't think about Americans could be so friendly, and I felt really welcome. And when you try to come to the United States, you have to pass for many procedures, visa, like many forms, and sometimes you feel as you're not welcome. But when I came here for the first time, I felt really welcoming. So lovely were the people who are around me, and I didn't expect to receive so many love, because in Brazil we are very touching people. We are very like hot people. When you get someone and you hug and you kiss and you were touching, and I always heard that in the United States people don't like to be touched and people don't like to be hugged. Take care. You cannot just touching people, but here I understand, and I knew people that they are really lovely persons, and they are like Brazilians, and they love and they do and they hug, and they are a warm people like this. The GSMP was a big opportunity to me because I spent 35 days in the United States by myself. I was by my own, and it was personally a challenge because when you are blind, unfortunately, you depend more on people because you cannot do everything by yourself. It is a kind of challenge, of course, but it should be a professional challenge as well. I had 17 colleagues from all around the world, and they have incredible projects, and I could learn a lot from them. And it was a big opportunity to present my project. My project is a communication project, and it's named Blind Stories. I use storytelling methodology, and from my experience, from my life, from my stories, I discuss disability, difference, and prejudice, discrimination, bullying. It was great when my project was elected the best one. I think it's important, not only for me, not only from Brazil, it could be important for the world too. I had been developed through the years. I love to do that because it's a way to communicate to people, children, teenagers, adults, seniors. It's really nice when you see things changing. For example, I'm used to go to schools, and children they ask everything, and I heard more than once from children like 10 years. Hello, my name is John, and I would like to know if you don't think about kill yourself. That's something heavy when you heard from children. But why? Why some child do this kind of question? Because he's not used to see people with disability in a positive way. He's used to face people with disability like as we are just needing things. But I present myself as a protagonist because I'm a protagonist of my life. I present myself as a guy who travels, who likes traveling, who likes writing, who is graduating in one of the best universities in Brazil. And 20 minutes, half an hour after, the same child who did this question would like to take picture with me, would like to that I can feel in his netbook, not because I'm the best one, not because I'm pretty. You are not seeing it, but I'm not pretty, and just because he never saw a people of disability in a positive way, and I can see that it changed minds, and my job changed mind of people. And 3 years ago, I decided that I would like to talk to more people. When I do conference, I used to do it for 20, 50, 100 persons. When I talk in YouTube, I can do it for millions. And this inspired me to create a YouTube channel. Children pay attention because it's different from the message that they are used to receive. When I talk to them, I talk about my life, I talk about my difficulties, about things I got, things I didn't get, and I convince them that I'm not best or worse than them. I'm just equal. I have difference, they have difference among them as well. When you face the difference as a positive thing, you just learn from the difference. When you face difference as a bad thing, you fight against it. And so I convinced them that they could face their own difference and the difference among them as a positive thing that the children like so much, because I do it in a funny way, in a soft way, and so they pay attention. Through the years, I had been realized that I'm blind, but I'm more things. I had been realized, for example, when I had the opportunity to become the first blind Brazilian to ski at the snow. I had been traveled to Czech Republic because in Brazil we have no snow, and I did something that 99% of Brazilians never will do. And I think this because I had accessibility and I didn't have prejudice. And so I realized that my problem is not my disability. My problem is that the world where I live is not prepared to me and to necessities of people with all kinds of disability. When you realize that, you conclude that the disability, my blindness, explain me as a person because of lack of accessibility and big prejudice. But the disability don't define who I am. When I was kid, I studied in a school for blind people, and we passed half of the day playing football. We didn't have the special balls, and so we have a normal ball, and you put it inside of a plastic bag, this one from supermarket, and you just when the ball is inside of it, you just can play. And we heard the sound of the plastic bag every day. We didn't care if it was raining, if it was 100 degrees. We didn't care about anything. We just would like to play football. And afterwards, I could know this blind soccer. I'm talking about football, soccer. It changed my life because practicing sports is so nice and so important for everyone. And when you are blind, you are used to hear from people that you cannot. When I was playing football, I figured out that I could. Yes, we can. We can play. We can. If you can play, we can run. If you can run on the court, you can walk on the street. And it means a lot for someone who is hearing that we cannot do things. I played football for many years, national and international tournaments. It helped me a lot in my development as a person. Actually, a friend of mine, he invited me to take part in a workshop of skiing for people who would work with persons with disability. And I didn't know even snow. I never had thought on snow. And it was a challenge for me, and I love challenge. When you have some disability, when people doesn't expect too much from you. And if you skiing, if you do some hard things, people pay attention and people can see you in a positive way. I have like many classes. I cannot just imitate people. Many things you do, all of you do during a day, you're just imitating people because you see how it looks like and you do the same. When you're blind, you cannot just imitate people because you're not seeing. And so some process, they took long time, not because we have some problems in our brains, it's just because 85% of things that someone receives as information is from vision, is from sight. I need to create ways to recover it. When I skiing for the first time, my thought was, that's nice being blind because I cannot see how high is it. Sometimes, and I think most of times, there is nothing physically who doesn't allow you to do something. It's the difficulty is inside of you. And when you understand that you have just a difficulty that's not an impairment completely, you can do things. My main goal in my videos, I'm not talking directly to people with disability, because in my mind they know about things I'm trying to say. My target is the society in general, but I receive like many messages for people with disability, and they tell me, watching your videos, I know now I know I can do more. Or that's even more emotional when moms write to me and tell that I have a baby and he or she is blind, but now I know that he can do a normal life. Thanks for your videos. When I have the sensation I can help people, even people I don't know personally, I think I'm doing something great for me and for the world. The main thing about disability is that, first of all, everyone is a person, everyone is a human being. And disability, everyone has some. My disability is just considered like serious because we are living in a world that's really sight world for people who can see. When you understand that everyone has a kind of disability, you cannot look as you are better than this person. This is the first step, I think. There is no problem about having prejudice because everyone is prejudiced when you don't know each other. And the problem is when we turn it like a discrimination. Here in GSMP, I had the opportunity, for example, to get to know people, Muslim people that I never had the opportunity to know before. And I had many prejudices. I thought I wouldn't tell something or even touch because I need to touch people to guide me. But they are really open, and girls, they teach me a lot about tolerance, and I'll never forget. We were here during the Easter holiday, and in Sunday, we were to the church, and the Muslim girls were to the church as well, and they watched the service, and during the service they was just telling me, this kind of things is in Al-Quran as well. This kind of things Al-Quran. In the end, I realized that the religions can be different, but persons are the same. And I think it's a best lesson that someone can have from the world where we live. In Brazil, I have many friends who can see, and they told me, I'm not courageous enough to go by myself or to do it with no one. I always tell them, okay, but I have another chance. Or I do it or I not do it, and I always will do something. I think they can inspire by me because they are used to tell me, I can see, and I never would travel as you do, like alone. And for me it's funny because I hadn't another choice. Being afraid of trying new things, it's something very common in people. Because every day when I decide to not stay on bed and go outside from my home, I'm facing new things. Even on the way from my home to the subway that I do every single day, every day is different because I cannot see what is 5 meters away from me. And so I think it's natural. I face difficulties in a positive way because if difficulties could destroy my confidence, I not even went out from home. Being GSMP changed me as a person It changed, of course. It empowered me as a person. If I can do that, I can do everything. When I came back to Brazil, I noticed that I was more independent. I was used to go to some places with people, and now I go by myself. Because I think to myself, okay, you were able to go to the United States and to spend 35 days there. You can do everything. This is the first point. When I notice that Americans pay attention, that Americans could love my projects as I do, I understand that it could be bigger than I imagined, and I really start to strongly believe that I can achieve more people. I think it's the best. I would like in 5 years to be on my 7th GSMP. And I really would like to stay doing my conference, my speech, not only in Brazil, but outside, and knowing people and helping to transform minds and perceptions, not only about people with disability, but about difference and breaking barriers.
"2233" is produced by the Collaboratory, an initiative within the U.S. State Department's Bureau of Educational and Cultural Affairs, better known as ECA. My name's Christopher Wurst. I'm the director of the Collaboratory. 2233 is named for Title 22, Chapter 33 of the U.S. Code, the statute that created ECA. And our stories come from participants of U.S. government-funded international exchange programs. This week, Marcos Lima discussed his time in the United States as part of the Global Sports and Mentoring Program, or GSMP. For more about sports diplomacy and other ECA exchange programs, check out eca.state.gov. We encourage you to subscribe to 2233. You can do so wherever you find your podcasts, and we'd love to get some feedback from you. You can write to us at ecacollaboratory@state.gov. That's ecacollaboratory at state.gov. Photos of each week's interviewee and complete episode transcripts can be found at our webpage at eca.state.gov/2233. Special thanks this week to Marcos for his stories and inspiration. I did the interview and edited this segment. Featured music was Rally, Plaque, Open Flames, One Quiet Conversation, and On Three Legs, all by Blue Dot Sessions. Music at the top of each episode is Sebastian by How the Night Came, and the end credit music is Two Pianos by Tagir Lius. Until next time.